Jedi Archive Restricted Access Level 10 Catalog ID 88-Descendant Artifact The Rule of Two, a historical and philosophical analysis of the Bane lineage. Origin Recovered Datacron, corrupted Serocco sector. Attributed to Darth Redacted, likely mid-lineage successor. Archivist Note. This document represents a hazardous cognitive hazard. It does not merely recount history. It attempts to reprogram the reader's understanding of the Force. It frames the genocide of the Sith Brotherhood not as a tragedy, but as a holy necessity. Proceed with extreme mental shielding. Preface: the nature of the Absolute. To understand the Sith is to understand the nature of the Absolute. The Jedi speak of balance as if it were a static state, a scale resting perfectly level, dust settling on the plates. This is the lie they tell themselves to excuse their inaction. True balance is not stillness. It is the tension of a bowstring drawn to its breaking point. It is the moment before the storm breaks. It is conflict. The Force is not a river to be floated upon. It is a beast to be broken. It is a fire that must be stoked. And fire, by its very nature, consumes. For 1,000 years, the Sith tried to be a forest fire, burning everything, spreading wide, consuming the galaxy in a chaotic blaze. We were bright, yes. We were terrifying, but we burned ourselves out. We turned on each other, fighting for scraps of ash. It was Lord Bane who realized that we should not be a forest fire. We should be a laser, a single, concentrated beam of coherence and destruction. This text is the history of that beam. Book 1, The Failure of the Many, The Era of Khan. 1. The Delusion of Equality. You have read the histories of Lord Khan and his Brotherhood of Darkness. Even the name reeks of compromise. Khan was a charismatic man, a general of great skill, but as a Sith, he was a heretic. His heresy was the belief that the dark side could be democratized. He looked at the endless infighting of the old Sith empires, the constant backstabbing, the warlords tearing each other apart, and he decided the solution was brotherhood. He declared that all Sith were equal. Dark Lord was a title abolished. We were all merely lords. It was a seductive poison. It allowed the weak to feel strong. It allowed the mediocre to stand shoulder to shoulder with the great and claim they were the same. But the dark side creates a hierarchy of power naturally. It is Darwinian. By enforcing artificial equality, Kayan did not elevate the weak. He shackled the strong. He diluted the venom. 1,000 Sith of moderate power are not equal to 1 Sith of absolute power. 1,000 drops of poison in an ocean are harmless. 1 concentrated dose in the vein is fatal. 2. The Thought Bomb. Bane saw this rot. He walked among the Brotherhood on Ruusan and saw not warriors, but politicians. They were more concerned with appeasing each other than destroying the Jedi. They were sharing the Force, sipping from it like a communal cup, terrified that one might drink more than the other. The thought bomb was not a weapon of war in the traditional sense. It was a surgical instrument. Bane tricked Kain into using it. He manipulated the Brotherhood's own fear and desperation. When the bomb detonated, trapping the spirits of all Jedi and Sith in that radius, within a sphere of eternal torment, Kain believed he was martyring himself for victory. He was merely taking out the garbage. Bane stood on the edge of the crater, the only survivor. He did not mourn. He looked into the void where the Brotherhood had been and saw a clean slate. The cancer had been cut out. The Sith were dead. Long live the Sith. Book 2, The Axiom of the Two, the Genesis. 1. The mathematical necessity. 2. There should be. No more, no less. One to embody power, the other to crave it. Why 2? Why not 3? Why not 1? 1 is stagnation. If a master has no apprentice, they have no challenge. They grow complacent. They begin to believe they are the apex, and in that arrogance, they stop growing. A master without an apprentice is a king without an heir, a dead end. 3 is conspiracy. If there are 3, 2 will inevitably ally against the third, not because they are stronger, but because they are weaker. 2 weak apprentices will band together to kill a strong master, and in doing so, they will lower the bar of what it means to be a Sith Lord. The lineage will degrade. The peak will lower. 2 is perfect. 2 is the binary star system. The master is the anchor. They possess the knowledge. They are the existing peak of the dark side. Their duty is to withhold nothing, yet give nothing freely. They must force the apprentice to rip knowledge from their grip. The apprentice is the challenger. They are the hunger. Their existence is defined by a single goal: to surpass the master. Not to equal them, to surpass them. 2. The transfer of power. The death of a Sith master under the rule of 2 is not a murder. It is a graduation. If the apprentice strikes the master down through trickery or a lucky blow, they have failed. If they wait until the master is old and feeble, they have failed. The apprentice must face the master at the height of their power and break them. This ensures that each generation is stronger than the last. The master is the whetstone against which the apprentice sharpens themselves. When the blade is sharp enough to cut the stone is discarded. This is why we remain hidden. If the Jedi knew of us, they would hunt us with armies. We cannot risk the apprentice being killed by a stray blaster bolt from a clone trooper. The contest must be pure. It must be between the two. Book 3, The Shadows of Succession. The Sorcery of Zana. 1. The Lesson of Difference. Darth Bane was a man of physical imposition. He was a juggernaut. His connection to the Force was a battering ram. He wore orbalisk armor. He crushed skulls with his bare hands. Naturally, he sought an apprentice who would mirror him, but the Force gave him Zana. Zana was a child when he found her, surrounded by the corpses of Jedi she had snapped with her mind. She was small, physically unremarkable. Bane could have crushed her with one hand, yet she became his doom. Zana proved that the lineage is not a cloning process. If every apprentice is just a weaker copy of the master, we fail. Zana did not try to outmuscle Bane. She knew she would lose. Instead, she mastered what he ignored: Sith sorcery, the art of the mind, the spells of madness. 2. The Stone versus the Wind. Their final duel is the perfect case study of the rule. Bane came at her with the fury of a storm, a whirlwind of red plasma and lightning. Zana retreated. She defended. She let him exhaust his fury against her walls. And then she whispered. She summoned the nightmares of his past. She turned his own strength into a cage. She did not overpower his body. She dismantled his mind. When Bane fell, it was not because he was weak. It was because Zana had evolved beyond him. She taught the Sith a crucial lesson. Obfuscation is a weapon. Under Zana, we vanished. We stopped being warlords and became rumors. We became the wealthy patron in the background, the whisper in the senator's ear, the accident that alters history. Book 4, The Web of the Future, The Vision of Cognos. 1. Precognition as strategy. If Zana was the master of the mind, her apprentice, Darth Cognos, was the master of time. Cognos possessed a rare talent for precognition. To her, the future was not a vague mist. It was a series of equations. She could see the ripples of an action before the stone was thrown. This shifted the Sith grand plan from reactive to proactive. We stopped fighting wars and started scripting them. Cognos taught us that a lightsaber is a tool of last resort. If you have to ignite your blade, you have already made a mistake in your planning. The true Sith victory is won 10 years before the battle begins. You manipulate the economy to starve your enemy. You incite a rebellion to distract them. You poison their alliances. By the time the Jedi realize they are under attack, the war should already be over. Book 5, The Heresy of Balance, The Failure of Gravid. 1. The Warning. Do not think the rule of two is invincible. It is a razor's edge, and we have nearly fallen. We must speak of Darth Gravid. Gravid was a powerful lord centuries after Bane, but he suffered from the same delusion as the Jedi. He believed he could control the Force by embracing balance. He believed that the absolute commitment to the dark side was a form of insanity. He began to reintegrate Jedi teachings, altruism, and restraint into the Sith dogma. It drove him mad. You cannot serve two masters. You cannot be the fire and the water. 2. The Great Loss. Gravid decided that the Sith archives, the accumulated knowledge of Bane, Zana, Cognis, and all who followed were dangerous. He began to burn them. He sought to destroy the history of the Sith, too. Save it. He was Gene. The battle was brutal. Gene was not yet ready to ascend. She was forced to strike prematurely to save the legacy. She killed Gravid, but at a terrible cost. She lost limbs, she was permanently crippled, and centuries of lore were turned to ash. We lost the rituals of essence transfer. We lost the deepest secrets of alchemy. We were set back 500 years in a single night. But the lineage survived. Gene, broken and bleeding, took an apprentice. She rebuilt. This is the resilience of the two. Even when reduced to a single spark, we do not die. Book 6, The Grand Plan, The Modern Era. I, the Republic's rot. We have now entered the final phase. The Republic is old. It is bloated, corrupt, and slow. The bureaucracy is a choking vine that strangles the systems it is meant to support. The Jedi have tied themselves to this corpse. They are no longer peacekeepers. They are the enforcers of a corrupt Senate. They have lost their way. They sit in their temple on Coruscant, surrounded by the darkness they claim to fight, yet they see nothing. Their vision is clouded by their own arrogance. They believe the Sith are extinct. They believe they have won. 2. The Phantom Menace. We are the architects of their downfall. We are the bankers funding the separatists. We are the politicians calling for more security. We are the shadows lengthening in the twilight of the Republic. The rule of two has concentrated the power of the dark side into a singularity. Soon, we will reveal ourselves, not with an army of Sith, but with an army of the Republic's own making. We will turn their own weapons against them. The Jedi will fall, not because we overwhelmed them with numbers, but because we outlasted them. We evolved. They stood still. the Force shall be freed. Jedi Archive Restricted Access. Level 10. Catalog ID 88-B-Descendant. Volume 2. Artifact. The Rule of Two. Volume 2. The Methodology of the Ascendant. Origin. Encrypted data spike recovered from the wreckage of a CNR Systems prototype. Attributed to Darth Redacted. Same author as Vol 1. Archivist Note. Volume 2 is significantly more dangerous than the historical record of Volume 1. It details specific applications of Sith alchemy and psychological warfare. Reading this text may induce nausea, paranoia, or inadvertent connection to the dark side. Preface. The Tools of the Gods. History is the foundation, but methodology is the structure. In Volume 1, we discussed why we exist. In Volume 2, we discuss how we conquer. To be Sith is not merely to wield a red saber. A brute can swing a plasma blade. A Sith wields the galaxy itself. We wield economics, biology, fear, and hope. We are not soldiers. We are conductors of a symphony of suffering that will reshape the galaxy into a perfect order. These are the tools of our ascension. Book 7. The Alchemy of Flesh. The Legacy of Sorzus Sin. 1. Nature is a draft. The Jedi believe nature is sacred. They believe life should evolve at its own sluggish pace, dictated by the random cruelty of evolution. They protect the weak because they believe all life has a right to exist. This is sentimentality. Nature is not a temple, it is a laboratory, and we are the scientists. Sith alchemy is the rejection of good enough. Why accept a beast that is strong when you can forge one that is invulnerable? Through the dark side, we warp bone and muscle. We strip away the instinct for self-preservation and replace it with an instinct for murder. 2. The chrysalis. The process is not for the squeamish. To alter a life, you must first break it. You must tear down the biological barriers that limit growth. Pain is the catalyst. Under extreme agony, the midichlorians become hyperactive, desperate to preserve the host. It is in this moment of biological panic that the alchemist strikes, molding the flesh like wet clay. We do not create monsters for the sake of terror alone. We create them to prove a point, that the Force is superior to nature. When a Leviathan crushes a city, it is not just a beast feeding. It is the dark side asserting its dominance over the natural order. Book 8. The Political Shadow. The Art of Plague. 1. The Weapon of Trust. The most dangerous weapon in the galaxy is not the Death Star. It is trust. If you attack a man, he will fight you. If you befriend him, he will hand you the keys to his house. The grand plan relies on this principle. We must not be seen as conquerors. We must be seen as saviors. To destroy the Republic, we must first make the people beg for its destruction. We must manufacture crises that only we can solve. We create the sickness, and then we sell the cure. 2. The finance of war. War is expensive. The Jedi do not understand credits. They live on charity and judicial allowances. We understand that gold is as powerful as the Force. We must control the banks. We must control the trade routes. When you control the flow of commerce, you control the Senate. A senator may have morals, but he also has debts. If we own his debt, we own his vote. We are slowly turning the banking clan and the trade federation into extensions of our will. They believe they are acting out of greed. They are fools. They are merely funding their own executioners. Book 9, The Philosophy of Pain, The Lesson of Sion. 1. Pain as fuel. Most beings spend their lives avoiding pain. They seek comfort. They seek safety. The Sith seeks pain. Not out of masochism, but out of necessity. Pain is the most honest sensation a living being can experience. It clarifies the mind. It banishes distraction. When you are burning, you do not think about what you will eat for dinner or whether you are loved. You think only of the fire. 2. The broken chains. By embracing pain, we immunize ourselves against it. A Jedi can be broken by torture because they view their body as a temple. To us, the body is a tool, and tools get scratched. Darth Sion, the Lord of Pain, was a crude instrument, but he understood this truth. He held his decomposing body together with sheer hatred. He proved that death itself is a decision. If your will is strong enough, if your hatred is pure enough, the grave cannot hold you. We do not seek to be Sion. He was a slave to his agony. But we learn from him. We learn that the mind rules the body absolutely. Book X, The False Prophecy, The Sithari. 1. The Jedi Lie. The Jedi speak of a chosen one, a Messiah born of the Force who will bring balance. They believe this figure will destroy the Sith and usher in an age of light. They are half right. There will be a chosen one, but he will not belong to them. The Force seeks strength. Why would the Force create a being of infinite power only to have him serve a council of monks who are afraid of emotion? It is illogical. A being born of pure force will be a creature of passion. He will be volatile. He will be dangerous. 2. The Sithari. Our texts speak of the Sithari, the perfect being, the one who will lead the Sith, but also destroy them. This is the paradox Bane understood. To perfect the Sith, the old order had to be destroyed. Bane was a Sithari, but there may be another. We must watch for this being. We must find him before the Jedi do. Or, better yet, let the Jedi find him. Let them train him. Let them try to shackle a supernova with their petty rules. He will resent them. He will hate them. And when he breaks, we will be there to catch him. Book 11, The Danger of Attachment, The Rule of Love. 1. Passion versus Obsession. The Jedi forbid love. They say it leads to attachment, and attachment leads to the dark side. We do not forbid love, but we warn against it. Love is a passion, and passion gives strength. To fight for someone you love is to fight with 10 times your normal strength. However, love is also a leash. If you love a being, you can be manipulated. If your enemy captures your heart, they capture you. The Sith Paradox. A Sith must love nothing more than power. You may have lovers, you may have allies, you may have children. But if the choice comes between them and the Order, they must die. This is the hardest test. To kill what you love is to sever the last tether to your humanity. It is the final step in becoming an avatar of the dark side. If you cannot make that sacrifice, you are not a master. You are merely a man with a lightsaber. Book 12, The Eternal Sith, The Ultimate Goal. Beyond governance. What is the end of the grand plan? Is it merely to rule the galaxy? No, that is small thinking. Empires rise and fall. Emperors die. The ultimate goal of the Sith is immortality. To rule for 1,000 years is meaningless if you die at the end of it. We seek to break the final chain, death. Plagiarism of the spirit. Essence transfer. Midichlorian manipulation. We research these dark arts not for curiosity, but for survival. 2. The God King. The final Sith Lord will not just be an emperor, he will be a god. He will rule not through bureaucracy, but through the Force itself. He will be eternal. His will shall be law, not because it is written, but because reality bends to accommodate him. The Jedi merge with the Force when they die, losing their identity. They call it peace. We call it suicide. We will not merge. We will conquer. We will retain our consciousness. We will impose our I upon the infinite we of the Force. We will live forever, and the galaxy shall be our altar. End of Volume 2. Archivist warning. Automated purge systems active. Disconnect immediately. Jedi Archive restricted access. Level 10, Catalog ID 8B, Descendant, Volume 3. Artifact, The Rule of Two, Volume 3, The Doctrine of the Shadow Hand. Origin, decrypted holocron fragment excavated from the ruins of a noble estate on Sereno. Attributed to Darth Redacted, likely late Lineage strategist. Archivist Note, Volume 3 shifts focus from the Force to political subversion and espionage. It details the creation of shadow hands, proxies used to interact with the galaxy so the Sith remain hidden. It contains hazardous methodologies regarding the destabilization of democratic governments. Preface: The Invisible War. The Sith Lord is a sun. If we descend to the surface of a world, we burn it. Our power is too great, our presence too loud in the Force. To walk openly among the sheep is to scatter them. Therefore, we must have hands that can touch the world without burning it. We must have voices that can whisper without deafening. This volume is dedicated to the shadow hands, the assassins, the spies, the corrupted bureaucrats, and the fanatical soldiers who serve us without ever knowing our true names. They are the buffer between the Sith and the Jedi. They are the smoke that hides the fire. Book 13, The Lesser Agents, The Doctrine of Expendability. 1. The Necessity of Proxies. The Jedi expect to fight warriors with red lightsabers. They train for duels. They meditate on combat forms. We must deny them this battle. If a senator needs to die, do not send an apprentice. Send a bounty hunter. If a bounty hunter fails, he dies, and the trail ends with him. He knows nothing of the Sith. He knows only the credits in his account. If an apprentice fails, they risk exposure, capture, and the revelation of the grand plan. 2. The Cult of the Sun Guard. There are those who worship the dark side but cannot wield it. Do not despise them. Use them. Use them. The Sun Guard of Thyrsus, the Akani duelists, the Mandalorians. These consist of warrior castes seeking purpose. We give them a cause. We give them targets. We shape their primitive codes of honor into chains of obedience. A non-Force-sensitive assassin is invisible to the Jedi in a way we are not. A Jedi feels the approach of a Sith like a storm front, but a sniper with a slug thrower 3 kilometers away, devoid of malice, merely doing a job, that is a silence they cannot hear until the bullet strikes. Book 14, The Poisoned Well, Subverting Governments. I, the rot from within. To conquer a fortress, you do not batter down the walls. you bribe the gatekeeper. Democracy is a fragile delusion. It relies on the assumption that people are rational and that leaders are incorruptible. Both assumptions are false. We do not need to invade planets. We need only to identify the cracks in their societies and wedge them open. Is there a racial divide? Fund the extremists on both sides. Is there a resource shortage? Hoard the supply and blame the Republic. 2. The architecture of chaos. A stable government is useless to us. We require desperation. When a population is frightened, they crave order. They do not care where that order comes from. If we create enough chaos, pirate raids, economic crashes, terrorist attacks, the people will eventually beg for a strong hand to rule them. We will provide the chaos, and eventually we will provide the strong hand. They will cheer as we place the yoke upon their necks, believing it to be a garland of safety. Book 15, The Silent Mind, Defeating Precognition. I, the Jedi Radar. The greatest defense of the Jedi is their precognition. They sense danger. They sense aggression. To kill a Jedi, you must not hate him, not in the moment of the act. If you approach a Jedi with murder in your heart, he will sense it like a beacon. You must approach him with nothing. You must be a void. This is why droids are effective Jedi killers. They have no intent for the Force to detect. 2. The Cold Order. For a Sith, this requires supreme control. You must compartmentalize your hatred. You must view the death of a Jedi not as a triumph, but as a bureaucratic necessity, like signing a document or discarding a broken tool. If you order the destruction of a city, do so with the emotional detachment of a mathematician solving an equation. If there is no emotion, there is no ripple in the Force. The Jedi will not sense the blade until it is already between their ribs. Book 16, The Faceless Army, Intelligence Networks. 1. The Web of Whispers. Knowledge is more lethal than a fleet of destroyers. We must know the secrets of our enemies better than they know themselves. We must build a network of spies that spans the galaxy. Not just professional agents, but invisible observers. The servant pouring wine in the Senate rotunda. The mechanic repairing the Jedi starfighter. The clerk in the banking guild. These are the eyes of the Sith. They see the weaknesses of the great men of the galaxy. 2. Kamari Vosa and the Bando Gora. Consider the failed apprentice Kamari Vosa. She was insane, yes, but she understood the power of a criminal syndicate. By controlling the criminal underworld, we control the flow of illicit goods, information, and slaves. The Black Sun, the Hutts, the Pikes, They are all potential tools. They are motivated by greed, which makes them predictable. A predictable tool is a useful tool. We allow them to exist because they serve a purpose. They distract the Jedi with petty crimes while we commit the grand crimes. Book 17, The Art of the Croxy, War Without Armies. 1. Funding the enemy. It is a delicious irony to use the Republic's own credits to fund its enemies. We must establish shell corporations, front companies, investment firms. Through these, we funnel wealth to separatist movements, warlords, and dissidents. We arm the enemies of the Republic with blasters manufactured in Republic factories. The Republic fights a Hydra. For every head they cut off, we fund 2 more. They exhaust their treasury and their morale fighting ghost enemies, never realizing that the true enemy is sitting in the boardroom on Coruscant. 2. The nihilism of profit. War is the ultimate engine of the grand plan. It grinds down the old order. We do not care who wins these proxy wars. The conflict is the victory. Every dead Jedi, every destroyed Republic cruiser, every disillusioned citizen is a step toward our ultimate goal. We must be the arms dealer who sells to both sides. We ensure the war is long, bloody, and indecisive. Only when the galaxy is bled white will we step in to end it. Book 18, The Erosion of Truth. Propaganda. 1. History is malleable. He who controls the present controls the past. He who controls the past controls the future. The Jedi claim to be the guardians of truth. We must expose them as liars. We must plant the seeds of doubt. The Jedi steal children. The Jedi are above the law. The Jedi serve only the rich. These are not entirely lies, which makes them effective propaganda. We must whisper these truths until they become shouted in the streets. We must erode the moral authority of the Jedi Order. 2. The new narrative. When the time comes to reveal ourselves, we will not say, "The Sith have returned to enslave you." We will say, "The Jedi betrayed you." We are here to restore order. We will rewrite history to show the Jedi as the aggressors and the Sith as the victims of a religious purge. The truth does not matter. Only perception matters. If the galaxy believes we are the heroes, then we are the heroes. End of Volume 3. Archival Note. Sector 4 lockdown initiated. Trace attempt detected. Jedi Archive. Restricted access. Level 10. Catalog ID. 88-Descendant. Volume 4. Artifact. The Rule of Two, Volume 4, The Corrupted Arts. Origin, recovered from the obsidian spires of Prakith, Deep Core. Attributed to Darth Redacted, suspected lineage historian. Archivist Note. Volume 4 represents a significant escalation in cognitive hazard. While previous volumes discussed politics and philosophy, this text details actual rituals of Sith sorcery. The chanting of phonetics found within Book 19 is strictly prohibited within temple grounds. Preface: The Force Unbound. The Jedi view the Force as a river, a flow to be respected, a current to be navigated. They build dams and canals, diverting it gently to power their machines and heal their sick. We know the truth. The Force is not a river. It is a beast. It does not want to flow. It wants to devour. To be a Sith sorcerer is to grab the beast by the throat and force it to do your bidding. It requires a will of iron. If your grip falters for even a second, the beast will turn and consume you. This is why the weak go mad. They open the door to the dark side, but they lack the strength to close it. Book 19, The Language of Unmaking, Sith Sorcery. 1. Beyond Telekinesis. Any Padawan can lift a rock. Telekinesis is the application of the Force to physical matter. It is crude. It is physics. Sith sorcery is the application of the Force to reality. We do not merely push the rock, we change the rock. We warp the air around it until it becomes toxic. We twist the minds of those looking at the rock until they see their worst fears. Sorcery is the imposition of the impossible upon the possible. 2. The incantations. Words have power. The ancient Sith tongue was not designed for conversation. It was designed for command. The very shape of the syllables resonates with the dark side. Tsaiwinoka Hoyakut, the spell of the reawakened dead. Suta Chwituskak, the bolt of hatred. These are not magic words in a fairy tale. They are keys. When spoken with sufficient hatred and focus, they unlock specific frequencies of the Force that the Jedi cannot even perceive. But be warned, the tongue of the Sith blisters the throat of the unworthy. To speak them is to invite darkness into your lungs. Book XV, The Gatekeeper's Trap, Holocrons. 1. The False Immortality. We create holocrons to preserve our knowledge. The Jedi create them to preserve their history. There is a difference. A Sith holocron is not a library. It is a copy of a mind. The Gatekeeper is a sentient echo of the Creator. It has their personality, their arrogance, and their cunning. Do not trust the gatekeeper. It will test you. It will lie to you. It will try to possess you. Many young apprentices have been found catatonic, their minds hollowed out by a holocron that decided the student was a suitable vessel for the master's return. 2. The capstone. To open a Sith holocron requires more than the Force. It requires the dark side. It demands passion. You cannot open it with a calm mind. You must bleed your emotions into the crystal matrix. This is the first defense. It ensures that the secrets within are never revealed to a Jedi. If a Jedi tries to open our holocrons with their peace, the device remains inert. Or, if the creator was particularly vicious, it detonates. Book 21, The Scar on the Galaxy, Dark Side Nexus. 1. Staining the Earth. The Jedi build temples on Vergence points to heal them. We build fortresses to corrupt them. A dark side nexus is a wound in the Force. It is a place where a great atrocity occurred, or where a powerful Sith Lord died. The cave on Dagobah, the Valley of the Dark Lords on Korriban, the Demon Moon of Duxan. These places amplify our power. They are batteries of negative energy. A Sith can draw upon the echoes of ancient pain to fuel their sorcery. 2. Creating the Nexus. We do not just find these places, we create them. To create a nexus, you must commit an act of profound darkness, the mass sacrifice of a population, the ritualistic execution of a powerful Jedi. The concentration of suffering must be so intense that the Force itself screams. That scream echoes forever. The vegetation dies, the animals mutate, the air turns cold. The planet itself becomes a monument to your power. This is how we mark our territory. Book 22, The Walking Dead, Necromancy. 1. The Abomination of Life. The Jedi believe death is the end. There is no death. There is the Force. We disagree. Death is a disease, and we are the cure. Through complex alchemy and the chant of Tsaiwinoka Hoyakut, we can reanimate the dead. These are not the sentient undead of legend. They are mindless shells driven by the dark side. They feel no pain. They have no fear. They are the perfect infantry. 2. The Spirit Anchor. More dangerous is the binding of spirits. A powerful Sith can tear the ghost of a Jedi from the netherworld and bind it to an object, a sword, a mask, a statue. This is the ultimate violation. To deny a soul its rest, to force a creature of light to serve as a battery for the dark. It is cruel, it is unnatural, and it is incredibly effective. A blade infused with the screaming soul of a Jedi Master cuts through armor like paper. Book 23, The Beast Within, Biological Corruption. 1. The Terrantak. The alchemists of the old empire created the Terrantak. These beasts feed on the blood of Force sensitives. Their hides are resistant to lightsabers. They hunt Jedi by scent. They were our hunting dogs. We must recover the art of their creation. A single Terrantak unleashed in the Jedi Temple would cause more devastation than a battalion of droids. It is a weapon of terror. It represents the Force turning against its guardians. 2. The Sith spawn. But the ultimate canvas is oneself. Many Sith Lords use alchemy to enhance their own bodies. Bone spurs, hardened skin, venom sacs. But be warned, the dark side exacts a toll. The Sith degradation is real. The skin pales, the eyes turn yellow and red, the veins blacken, the body begins to rot while still alive, consumed by the sheer potency of the energy flowing through it. You must learn to use the Force to sustain your decaying cells. You become a walking corpse, held together by will alone. This is the price of power. Book 24, The Void, The Hunger. 1. The Lesson of Nihilus. Darth Nihilus was not a man. He was a hole in the Force. He did not use the dark side. He was consumed by it. He became a wound in the galaxy that hungered to be filled. He could strip a planet of life by speaking. He could consume the Force energy of entire armies. He is a warning. 2. The Drain Life. We utilize a lesser version of this power, Force Drain. In combat, do not just strike your enemy, feed on them. As they tire, you grow stronger. Siphon their vitality. Pull the Force out of their cells and into your own. It is the ultimate sustainability. As long as you have enemies, you have fuel. You feast on their strength until they are husks, and you are a god. End of Volume 4. Archival alert. Ambient temperature drop detected. Containment. Jedi Archive. Restricted access. Level 10. Catalog ID. 88-Descendant Volume 5. Artifact. The Rule of Two. Volume 5. The Blade of Hate. Origin. Decoded from a fractured crystal matrix found in the ruins of the Jun wastelands. Attributed to Darth Redacted, renowned duelist. Archivist Note. Volume 5 analyzes lightsaber combat. It critiques the Jedi forms as passive and details the banned techniques of Yuyo and Dun Mach. The description of the bleeding ritual in Book XXX is disturbing. Preface: the extension of will. The lightsaber is not a weapon. It is a lens. It focuses the will of the user into a cutting edge. For the Jedi, the saber is a shield, a tool of defense, a symbol of restraint. They treat it with reverence, like a religious icon. For the Sith, the saber is a claw. It is a fang. It is the physical manifestation of our desire to dominate. We do not revere the weapon. We command it. A Sith who relies solely on their blade is a fool, but a Sith who cannot use their blade is a corpse. Combat is the ultimate debate. When words fail, the blade proves who is right. Book 25, The Broken Forms, Critique of the Seven. 1. The Pacifism of Serocco. The Jedi favor Form 3, Serocco, the way of the Mynock. It is a defensive style designed to deflect blaster bolts and outlast an opponent. It is the style of the coward. Serocco relies on the enemy making a mistake. It surrenders the initiative. A Sith never surrenders the initiative. We do not wait for the enemy to tire. We break them. To practice Serocco is to admit that you are afraid to strike. 2. The Ferocity of Yuyo. We embrace Form 7, Yuyo, the way of the Vornskra. The Jedi banned this form for centuries because it brings the user too close to the dark side. It requires chaotic, staccato movements. It demands that the user enjoy the fight. To master Juyo, you must let your emotions flow into your limbs. You do not plan your next strike. You feel it. You become a whirlwind of malice. It is reckless, yes. It leaves you open to counterattack. But the sheer violence of the assault usually ensures that the enemy is too busy trying to survive to counter anything. Book XV, The Bleeding, Crystal Synthesis. 1. The Lie of the Kyber. The Jedi bond with their crystals. They wander ice caves, waiting for a rock to call to them. They serve the crystal. We enslave it. A natural Kyber crystal is aligned with the light. It resists the dark side. To create a Sith lightsaber, one must not merely find a crystal, one must conquer it. 2. The Ritual of Domination. You must take a crystal, preferably one taken from the saber of a Jedi you have killed, and pour your pain into it. You must force your will upon its lattice structure. The crystal will scream. It will show you visions of your own death. It will try to reject you. You must not falter. You must crush its resistance until it submits. In its agony, the crystal bleeds, turning the blade crimson. A red blade is not an aesthetic choice. It is the sign of a victim. It is a crystal that has been tortured into submission. Book 27, The Art of Verbal Warfare, Dogma 1, The Weapon of Voice. The duel is not fought only with plasma, it is fought with the mind. Dogma is the Sith art of distraction and doubt. While you cross blades, you must also attack the enemy's spirit. Your master never trusted you. You are fighting for a corrupt republic. I can sense your fear. You must find the crack in their armor, their insecurity, their secret shame, and pry it open. 2. Breaking the concentration. Jedi require focus to channel the light. If you can make them angry, fearful, or hopeless, you cut them off from their power source. Make them hate you. If a Jedi strikes out in anger, they have already lost. They have abandoned their code. Even if they kill you, you have corrupted them. But usually, their anger makes them sloppy, and that is when you take their head. Book 28, The Exotic Weapons, the Staff and the Whip. 1. The Double-Bladed Saber, Archon, Darth Maul. These lords understood the value of the saber staff. The double blade is a weapon of intimidation. It increases the surface area of the kill zone. It allows a single warrior to fight multiple opponents. But its true strength is psychological. When a Jedi sees the second blade ignite, they flinch. In that microsecond of surprise, they die. However, it is dangerous to the user. One mistake and you cut yourself in half. It requires perfection. 2. The Light Whip. Rare, cruel, unpredictable. The Light Whip is a flexible containment field. It cannot be blocked by standard parries. It wraps around the enemy's blade and severs the hand holding it. It is a weapon of torture, not just execution. We use it when we want the enemy to suffer before the end. Book 29, The Force in Combat, Integrated Warfare. 1. The Third Hand. A duel is not fencing. You have the Force. Use it. If your blades are locked, blast them with telekinesis. If they jump, pull them out of the air. If they retreat, choke them. There is no fair fight. There is only victory and death. The Jedi separate swordplay and force powers. They view them as distinct disciplines. We weave them together. The blade and the blast are one motion. 2. Sith Lightning. The ultimate expression of hatred. To summon lightning, you cannot just be angry. You must wish for the complete obliteration of existence. It is not merely electricity. It drains the life force as it burns. It causes the muscles to seize, leaving the enemy helpless. It is the power of a storm held in the palm of your hand. But be careful. If you are not grounded in your hate, it can turn back on you. Book 30. The Final Strike. The Philosophy of the End. No mercy. The Jedi show mercy. They spare the fallen. They take prisoners. This is why they lose. If an enemy draws a weapon against you, they have forfeited their right to life. To spare them is to invite betrayal. If you defeat an enemy and let them live, they will learn. They will return stronger. 2. The trophy. When the deed is done, take a trophy. A lightsaber, a braid, a mask. Not for vanity, but for memory. The Sith do not have a temple to remember us. We are remembered only by the things we destroy. Each trophy is a testament to the superiority of the Sith philosophy. It is proof that, in the end, the dark side is stronger. End of Volume 5. Archivist warning. Simulation ended. Meditative flush required. Jedi Archive. Restricted access. Level 10. Catalog ID 8-B. Descendant. Volume 6. Artifact. The Rule of Two. Volume 6. The Decay of the Republic. Origin. Encrypted datapad found in the private spire of a disgraced senator on Coruscant. Attributed to Darth Redacted, political strategist. Archivist Note. Volume 6 shifts focus to macro-politics. It details the Great Peace not as a golden age, but as a calculated period of stagnation designed to weaken the Jedi Order through lack of conflict. The analysis of the Senate's corruption is disturbingly accurate. Preface. The poison of peace. War sharpens the spirit. Peace dulls it. The Republic, but natural, deep, manifesto-like tone, dark and subtly evil, like an ancient Sith Lord from Star Wars. Uncaring, like this is a waste of time. The Republic believes that the last 1,000 years of peace are a testament to their moral superiority. They are wrong. This peace was not a gift. It was a cage. We gave them peace so they would grow fat. We gave them peace so they would forget how to fight. A blade left in the sheath for 1,000 years does not remain sharp. It rusts. And while the Republic rusted, we were the moisture in the air, accelerating the decay. Book 31. The First Century. The Illusion of Victory. 1. The Ruusan Reformation. Following the defeat of the Brotherhood of Darkness, the Republic demilitarized. They disbanded the Brand Army. They placed the protection of the galaxy solely in the hands of the Jedi. This was their fatal error. By removing the military, they forced the Jedi to become the police. A Jedi is a philosopher monk, not a beat cop. By forcing them to enforce trade disputes and border tariffs, we eroded their spiritual connection. They stopped looking at the stars and started looking at tax codes. 2. The myth of the Sith extinction. The most important lie of this era was our silence. We did not strike. We did not raid. We let the galaxy believe we were truly gone. This allowed the Republic to lower its guard completely. Funding for planetary defense was diverted to public works and vanity projects. The core worlds became soft, believing that the era of threats was over. They built glass towers because they forgot that stones could be thrown. Book 32, The Middle Centuries, The Rise of Corporocracy. 1. The Guilds of Greed. As the Senate grew bloated, it became inefficient. It could no longer manage the logistics of a galaxy-wide civilization. Into this vacuum stepped the commerce guilds, the Trade Federation, the Techno-Union, the Banking Clan. We encouraged their growth. We whispered in the ears of senators to grant these guilds special zones and deregulation. We turned corporations into nation-states. 2. The privatization of power. Eventually, these guilds became more powerful than the worlds they served. They had their own droid armies, security forces, they called them. The Republic did not have an army, but the banks did. This created a dynamic where the Republic was held hostage by its own economy. If the Trade Federation threatened a blockade, the Senate surrendered because they had no fleet to break it. The power shifted from the podium of the Senate to the boardroom. Book 33, The Outer Rim, The Foundation of Hate. 1. The Neglect. While the core worlds bathed in luxury, the Outer Rim was left to rot. Slavery returned. Warlords rose. The Republic turned a blind eye because it was too far away and too expensive to police. This was not accidental. We ensured that aid bills were stalled in committee. We ensured that Jedi were kept in the core. 2. Breeding the Separatists. This neglect created a deep, festering resentment in the Outer Rim. The humans and aliens of these worlds began to view the Republic not as a protector, but as a parasite that took their taxes and gave nothing back. This resentment is the fuel for the fire to come. We do not need to invent a rebellion. We merely need to hand a blaster to a man whose family starved while Coruscant feasted. They will tear the Republic apart for us. Book 34, The Senate, the Theater of the Absurd. Aye, bureaucracy as a weapon. A dictatorship is efficient. A democracy is slow. A corrupted democracy is paralyzed. We have turned the Senate into a circus. There are thousands of senators, each with their own agenda, each shouting to be heard. We introduced procedural loops, filibusters, and endless subcommittees. To pass a simple law takes years. By the time the